Okay, this month we are working out of the Book of Proverbs. We're actually reading the Book of Proverbs, and the Book of Proverbs has 31 chapters, and that's a chapter for each day of the month. Proverbs gives us wonderful wisdom and guidance on how we should live our lives. So let's look in the New International Version, this is the Kids Adventure Bible, on what it has to say about the Book of Proverbs. Who wrote this book? Well, Solomon wrote many of the Proverbs, and wise men added excerpts to the Bible, Proverbs books, okay, the Book of Proverbs. Why was the Book of Proverbs written? The book was written to help people make wise choices. This book is truly for guidance on how to live. For whom was this book written? This book was written for everyone. So the Book of Proverbs was written for everyone, even people who do not believe in God. They can also get wisdom out of the Proverbs, the Book of Proverbs. What kind of advice is found in Proverbs? This book gives advice on making friends, living with your family, on money, doing the right thing, caring about poor people, and many other important things. So in the Book of Proverbs, we find wisdom on living every part of our life, making friends, how we should act, what we should do with money, how we should handle family events, and so on. So the Book of Proverbs is a lot of really great wisdom. And when was this book written? Well, a really, really, really long time ago. Okay, the Book of Proverbs was written in 970 back to 686 BC. So this was before we look at like our years of life right now. We're in the millennium. This was way, way, way before that. Okay, 970 back to 686 BC. So this was a long, long time ago. We were not here when this book was written. Okay, and then what are some of the things for children that we can find in this book? Well, we have guidance on trusting God. We have guidance on working hard. We know that hard work does pay off. It's like when we're studying our schoolwork, okay? We find guidance on insults. When somebody says something to us that we don't like or that hurts our feelings, this book helps us with how we should handle those situations because they're not fun and they don't feel really good. But the Book of Proverbs gives us some really good guidance and advice on how we should deal with those situations, like loving our neighbors and being nice and kind to people even when they're not nice to us. Okay? It talks about guidance on revenge. We know that that's not for us to do. Okay? If somebody hurts us or does something wrong, we don't go to get back at them. That's not the right thing to do. So the Book of Proverbs helps us out with the way we should handle that situation too, as well as discipline. Now, if you've been doing our guidance for this month, you've seen our stretching video and you've seen our dance technique video. And those are things that help us work on discipline. That's when we're doing something over and over and we're doing it so that we get better at it, but we're continuing to do it on a daily base, on a weekly base, and that's what we're doing with our reading as well. So Proverbs is going to help us out with that. So we're going to look at a few things in Proverbs, and I've picked up another version. This is the Message version of the Bible and what it has to say about our Proverbs. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to read that quickly and see what we have in Proverbs. Got to put my glasses on, okay? So this is the Message version, and I like the Message version because it speaks in plain English. So I won't have that hard of a time with the these and the thous and that wonderful old English. So we're going to find out what it says about Proverbs. And you too could get a Message version, and they do have a kids version for the Message version as well, or a children's version. But we can all read the same Bible, okay? Many people think that what's written in the Bible has mostly to do with getting people into heaven, getting right with God, saving their eternal souls. It does have to do with that, of course, but not mostly. It is equally concerned with living on this earth. Okay? Living well, living in robust sanity. In our scriptures, heaven is not the primary concern, to which earth is a tag-along afterthought. On earth as it is in heaven is Jesus' prayer. Wisdom is the biblical term for the on earth as it is in heaven everyday living. Wisdom is the art of living skillfully in whatever actual condition we find ourselves. Now this applies to our children as well. And I know it seems kind of heavy, but this is our everyday living. So if you're in school, it's what you're going through when you're in school. It's what's happening in your classrooms. It's what's happening as you're making friends. It's what's happening in your daily activities, your sports, your extracurricular activities, and your home life as well with your brothers and sisters. It has virtually nothing to do with information such as with knowledge as such. A college degree is no certification of wisdom, nor is it primarily concerned with keeping us out of moral mud puddles, although it does have to do profound moral effects upon us. Wisdom has to do with becoming skillful in honoring our parents and raising our children, handling our money and conducting our sexual lives, going to work and exercising leadership, using words well and treating friends kindly, eating and drinking healthily, cultivating emotions within ourselves and attitudes towards others that make for peace. So we're looking at becoming skillful in our lives by honoring people, whether that's our parents, our friends, our teachers, those who are helping us to develop in our leadership in life, those who are helping you to learn different things, different skill sets in your life. Threaded through all these items is the instance that the way we think and we respond to God is the most practical thing that we do. So, as we're learning things in life, we are also becoming aware of our relationship with God and the fact that He has placed us here, and all of these things that are happening to us, He is completely aware of. So now we're acknowledging that. In matters of everyday practicality, nothing, absolutely nothing takes precedence over God. Okay? So we don't put anything before God. Proverbs concentrates on these concerns more than any other book in the Bible. Attention to the here and now is everywhere present in the stories and legalization, the prayers, and the sermons that are spread over the thousands of pages in the Bible. Proverbs distills it all into riveting images that keep us connected in holy obedience to the ordinary. So, in the book of Proverbs, it's kind of the string that ties us through and keeps us actively involved with the rest of the books in the Bible and helps us to make reference to the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Scriptures, and our everyday living. So Proverbs is really going to be our instructional guide, our guidance, and the thing that makes everything else clear. I know, it's a little heavy, but let's look at the end of Proverbs here. What makes a good life, or what makes life good? In the Bible, women did important work in their families. They made threads on spindles and wove cloth. With cloth, they made clothing for their families to wear, and they made clothing to sell for money. Life is good when men and women both do important things. And that's the culmination, believe it or not, in the book of Proverbs, as we, the people in life, are moving through life together harmoniously, loving each other, being friendly towards each other, helping each other, and getting through life harmoniously. Let's look back, because remember that Proverbs has 31 chapters, and we are to read one chapter per day till we get to the end of Proverbs, and that means for this month we're going to need to read 2 chapters because we're starting halfway through the month. One of my favorite scriptures is actually Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. That's Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. And that says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him," him being God, "and he," God, "will make your path straight." So that means in everything that I'm doing, and everything that's happening in my life, that I'm trusting God, that not only does he know that those things are happening, but he's aware of it, and I'm able to know that and continue to walk forward to do not only the right thing, but what God would think is best. And I can see that by looking in his word. So let's make sure we're reading the Proverbs 2 chapters per day, and the next video I will be reading that with you. So happy reading Proverbs this month, chapters 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, all the way till you get to chapter 31. All right, I'll see you next time. Proverbs.